Welcome back to lunch, everyone. Hope you're enjoying lunch. I hope you had a good morning. And everybody's ready for this afternoon's activities. And this evening. Has anybody talked about this evening yet? No. You haven't heard from the inestimable John Whitfield yet about this evening?
Well, they've heard, but they're sick of hearing it, and it's just day one.
Okay. Well, anyhow, I'm not going to give you the details. John will after lunch.
That's right.
But we're going to have a cocktail party followed by a dinner at the cheese factory, which is
wow, that is like, you're butchering all this, actually. Let me step in here. There is no cheesecake factory. There's no cheese factory.
It's sort of an inside joke. You can ask somebody, and John will give you a better description later. Suffice it to say that you'll be eating raclette up at the top of the mountain, and other things too, and with more wine and drinks. And then after that, there'll be another party involving drinks, and then later there'll be the après party involving drinks, I think. And then you come directly back here for tomorrow's session.
Just remember, Ken's on medication. I'm going to cover all this in about 20 minutes. Don't worry.
Yes, please do. Okay, but we're very delighted to have with us today Blake Miller, Director of Product Marketing of Salesforce Marketing Cloud. They purchased an important company in the email field that I think everybody knows, Exact Target. Exact Target was a founding sponsor in this very spot, on this very day, for the last 11 years, the first day lunch sponsorship, and we're delighted for all those years of support and for Salesforce continuing in that vein. So let's call Blake Miller up here and give him a nice round of applause.
Thank you, Ken. Good afternoon, everybody. It's really exciting to be here, and the thing that we will cover, we're going to walk through some research that we just completed. We surveyed 7,000 customers of both B2B and B2C and really got their marketing preferences on how their world is changing and with everything being connected. So a lot of the data here will pay off a lot of the conversations that we've had this morning. A lot of the best practices will really tie into that. So we're going to look at the email in the age of the customer in two segments. First, we're going to look at the 6 findings that the survey revealed, and then we're going to take a look at how do we reach those connected customers. Customers are in control. We all understand this, but now we really have a lot of data to back that up. The percentage of customers who strongly agree that they feel much more empowered in the last 5 years. When you think about the car buying experience 5 years ago, or buying a house or renting an apartment 5 years ago, it was the idea that all of the information was on one side of that transaction. And that's all changed. The asymmetry of information now has made it so much easier for customers to be in the know. So not only do we have that information, but it's also now easier than ever for customers to vote with their wallet, to vote with their feet, to vote with their mobile phone, and take their business somewhere else. They can showroom products, they can buy. So it really has changed the idea that the customer is now in complete control, so we have to build our practices around that. And mobile drives immediacy. We want everything now. I mean, I think about the conversations we had last night about movies and films and songs at dinner, and before we'd everybody be stumped and we didn't quite know if we were right. Now you pull out the cell phone, somebody Googles who the actor was or what show they were in, and we get the age of the actor to decide whether he's 63 or 64. I can't remember what we actually decided at that time. What? 63. But it's the idea that we don't wait for information anymore, and customers expect everything right away. And this causes challenges not only for brands and marketers as somebody competing in a Coke versus Pepsi world, but it also raises the expectation of every customer experience. Everything needs to have that immediacy. And customers will want everything in real time, and they expect everything in real time. But we want to be treated like people and not numbers. Now, this is something that I don't think has really ever changed. People have always wanted to be treated as individuals. You think about the old movies of people walking into the dime store, and the owner of the store knew all of their preferences, knew what they liked, knew what prescriptions they took, knew what medicines they were on, knew all of the things that they liked. Right? So that was an expectation of having that personalized service is something that we've always wanted. But when advertising moved to mass marketing that was discussed earlier, we lost that. We lost that personal connection. And now data and marketing has given us back, and now that consumers have seen a little bit of that, they really want more of it. And so it's really going back to that idea that we want that personal connection, and we can now have the capability to do it. And that's really driving customer loyalty. Again, data sharing, and this is something that else was touched on about millennials willing to provide all of this information and share everything about their lives online. And we also have to be able to leverage that information, taking in through machine learning and deep learning, through language processing and through predictive recommendations to anticipate the needs of customers and to be ready to have those interactions based on all of the information that they're sharing with us to really raise that next level of personalization. And we have to make it matter. And we have to make it matter. It was something that came up in the last panel as well. Right? We have to make it matter because people don't want to be sold all the time. They're tired of being sold. They want to have that ongoing conversational relationship with content that makes them smarter, with content that moves them along that process. We've given you this information. You know everything that I've purchased. You know the service history. We need to treat all of that data, having that single view of the customer, to really drive that better sales experience. So you're not selling me something I don't need. You're not pitching me high-speed internet when I can't get it at my house and sending me an email and a postcard every day telling me that I need to upgrade to high speed when you don't serve my house. The data's got to be better than that, right? We have that expectation. We should be able to handle that experience and connect that experience as marketers. So don't sell me that I can't get or that I don't need. And respect that. And then treat them as valued customers. It goes back to the personalization and the expectations and the preferences that as consumers we've always had. And then fast, personal, always-on service. And this is something that this drives 70% of customers. This drives customer loyalty. 70% of customers, this changes their view of their company if they cannot get what they want when they want it. So really connecting to that experience. And not only is it respecting that always-on perspective, but understanding that there's a lot of different channels that people want to connect on. People have different preferences, respecting those preferences. I would rather, while I'm sitting there waiting for my flight, be able to jump on a text message or a chat and get something taken care of right then. Somebody else wants to pick up a phone and talk to somebody on the phone and get it handled. I want to get it done quickly, just back and forth, done. Knocked out, get an appointment. Like, if I didn't have to pick up a phone to schedule an appointment for the doctor or the dentist, I would be very happy with that. I love doing it online. I love scheduling it and doing all of that very easily. And so that's the expectation of how I want to do it. Other people want to pick up the phone and do it. But understanding the customer preferences and that everybody's an individual and being available 24/7 on all of those different channels and how people want to interact is crucial to customer loyalty. So how do we put these results or these findings into action? Let's look at really putting the customer at the center of the business, and we've talked about this a lot today, but are we truly mapping the customer journey, the customer experience from the customer's perspective? So who in the last 3 months has gone through their customer experience as if they did not know the business that you were in? Like a brand new customer, gone through that experience. Bought, sold, customer service. So 7, 8 people. How many people have done that on the mobile device as well? Desktop. Same experience? How many have flipped back and forth and done half of it on mobile and half of it on desktop to see what that experience is? Okay, 5 or 6 people. You should do this every quarter. You should do your customer journey, take the beginner's mind and start and go through that whole process. What's it like to find out about your offerings, go through the customer service, go through the purchase process, understand where the points of friction are, what works really well, does it translate to the mobile experience, to the desktop experience? It's just a great experience to go through and you'll get great perspective. Have your teams go through it, have them see what they like, what they don't like. It'll bring a ton of insights to that customer journey and really understanding what your customers are going through. Embrace the culture of immediacy. Understand that people have a powerful computer in their hand, and they are going to leverage and want to have conversations. They're going to want things right now. They're going to want to interact on channels. It drives. It's happening. It's done. I think for 3 or 4 years, the thing was, this is the year of mobile. This is the year of mobile. Well, mobile came and went. Mobile happened in about 24 hours. I think it went from this is going to be the year of mobile to mobile had gone pretty quickly. So it really is the idea of it's already happened and we have to respond to that and be ready that on a mobile device, it's email, social, advertising, apps, all of that is happening on that mobile device, and having that single view of the customer and being able to react across all of those channels is extremely important. And then really driving that personalization, getting smart. What are the things that we can move along to connect those experiences? Do we have places where we can get our tax advice really quickly in the app, get those questions answered when we're filling out our tax returns, or having that connected home? Really understanding what can I personalize in my experience and what can get better. Looking at all of the data and those experiences to really drive those interactions and that increased personalization, because that's what customers expect. And email is the key to success. We spend a lot of time talking about how email is like a social security, so we've talked about using that as a unique identifier. The 2 points that we can learn from email where we have 15 years of experience and history is, number one, let's leverage campaign history. It is a great jumping off point for campaigns that have worked. Welcome series, birthday campaigns. Take that as a starting point. You're going to have to tweak it for social, you're going to have to tweak it for advertising, you're going to have to tweak it for mobile. But learn from the frequency, learn from the cadence, learn from the subject line, learn from the calls to action. It's a great place to start. It's not going to translate one-to-one, but it gives you a good jumping off point. So it gives you somewhere to start so you don't feel like you're trying to boil the ocean. Right? It's a great first step. And then take all of the subscriber data that you have. The great thing about email interactions is every interaction provides us more data. What people click on when they open their email, what they respond to, all of that can lead insights into action and gives us great data points to turn into action, to turn into campaigns, to drive not only email, but drive all of our cross channels. So really learn from campaign history and from the subscriber data and leverage that to make your other channels more effective and to jump into those other channels. Don't fear disruption, be the disruptor. We have a great opportunity to really take all of the data we have, the relationships that we have with customers, all of the insights, and really begin to drive the interactions across our company and become stronger brands for our organizations. All of it resides in the email program with the data, the content, the contacts. It's a great opportunity to drive that change and break down the silos inside the organization and really take the perspective of what can I do with my data? What can I do by adding another channel that's going to make my email program perform better? There's simple things like for physical locations, doing mobile opt-in. Have a mobile text code with an email address and get someone to join your list right there so you can start adding subscribers. It's a quick way to add mobile. We've talked about the idea of adding social, retargeting your unengaged consumers with social advertising. Really think about how you can get those quick wins that are going to drive the performance in your email program so it's an easier internal sell. If I add mobile text in, I can start collecting more addresses and grow my subscriber list. If I start doing social advertising or retargeting advertising, I can grab those people who are a little bit less engaged than I would like. So really continue to think about how you can leverage those channels to make your email program perform better and really drive change in the organization. This entire report, it's 50 plus pages of more data and insights, statistics to share with your team, with your brands, with the rest of your organization, can be downloaded, and happy to share all of those insights as well at marketingcloud.com. It has all that information that really drives into 50 pages of surveys and insights that we got from our surveying 7,000 customers. So with that, I would like to thank everybody this afternoon and hope everybody enjoys their afternoon activities. Thank you.
All right, Blake, thank you very much. Quickly, because people are probably chomping to get out, any questions for Blake while we have him? If not,